What's up, guys? Man, so let me first start out by saying sorry for being on so late and being tired. Last night, last night we had. If you live in the Northeast, you may or may not know. Uh, we had a really bad storm that came in around midnight, and it uh, came in around like 12:45, and I think it left around 1:30. And then we had another one that was out at like 2 o'clock. It was like 2:30. So it was a rough night for me, sleep wise. So I do apologize because I really didn't get to bed till early this morning. Fell asleep and then the storm came in. Started at midnight and lasted till about 3 o'clock, about 3:30 this morning, and so CPI like my intuition. Hold on one second. So my intuition, like I said yesterday, was that they tweaked the numbers and some things come in line. Um, Let me see here. Thank God I have a Red Bull left, because I did not have time to go run and get a coffee. I still got to go get coffee from the store. Let's see here. So Liz Young, my favorite, um, had posted a pretty much housing, which has been the strongest, is still pretty high. If you guys are just joining us, if you guys could hit that like button and subscribe. I know you guys are good for it. What's up, Collins? How you doing, bro? So I want to say sideways. I said it yesterday that I feel like they can tweak the numbers. So here's your August headline. CPI came in at 3.7 versus a 3.7, or 3.7 versus 3.6 estimate. Shelter still the largest contributor to core services ex shelter, excluding shelter. So shelter is the largest contributor in core services, excluding shelter. Services as in not rent, excluding rent, taking rent out. Moved up slightly. The plus zero point 0.6 month over month read is the highest since June 22. Surely we can find things that have cooled, but I'm having trouble. I told you guys yesterday when she was on that I'm having trouble seeing this as a good report. I know, I'm with her. I still haven't gone over the data because I literally just got up a few minutes ago. I was up at 7 and I tried my hardest to get up, guys. But the storm last night, like we had almost like 60-mile-an-hour winds last night. Did you get hit with a storm last night, bro? It was windy as shit, and it was like it started at like 12:45. Started just before 1 o'clock, and then it went till about 2:30. Yeah. Was it bad at all where you were at? Cause it was fucking ripping where I was at, man. The wind and everything. Um. So core. Yeah. Let me see here. Let's go into it. Um. Let me just go back, and then we'll go to the actual place where they put the numbers out. 4.3 versus a 4.7, or previously 4.7. 4.414. Okay. 3. So this is what we didn't want. This is exactly what we didn't want. So you. Why is this number mixed up now? Here we are. So what you have here, this is minus food and energy is core. And I said yesterday, if core goes up, so we got the headline number, which is this number, right? Inflation rate year over year. Is food and energy included? We expected it to be around 3.6, 3.7. And I said if it's just a tick higher, okay, like, I feel like we needed this core inflation rate, the headline number, which is this one right here, zero point 0.3. We needed it at like 0.4, 0.5, but it's still at 0.3. It's still rising because this is taking out food and energy. So it still rose. So what did I say? I said I feel like we chop, but we chop to the downside. I still think, but the thing is, guys, why do I think we could just stay right about where we're at versus, oh my God, my head hurts. I gotta get some caffeine. You have a lot more data coming out tomorrow. So the market may not rush the initial jobless claims, PPI, right? Retail sales. So think about that as far as a lot of lightning. Yeah, we had some really high ass winds, man, and a lot of lightning. So you gotta think about this is that you may or may not have big bets being taken place. The number's up. That's a fact. All right, inflation's ticking back up. It doesn't matter what, no matter how you put it, the number's still ticking up. So therefore, we should be pulling back. We should pull back, but this number is not crazy high to where you want to just where this thing sold off and you're looking at the SPY right now at 442, 441. So I still think we pull back. Right, I still think we pull back. My pullback number for the S&Ps is going to be right here at like I want to see if we break 445. I want to see us pull back to like 445, 444.90s, and then see then if we can pull it back down to 442.50 or 443. I'm sorry. See if we get to yesterday's low. I'm on the SPY. Not yesterday's low. I'm sorry. Let me show you guys on a 15-minute chart instead of looking at it on my phone. So we have us very well. So I'm looking at TLT. That's why things aren't the same. Let's see if we get back down here to this 443 area, guys. If it breaks, we have to go into the data and look exactly to see what's going up, what's going down. But it's right in line, so we could just chop. This market could chop. I wasn't here when the numbers came out to be able to say, all right, this is up. When they go through all the numbers. So wait for tomorrow. All right, we gotta wait for tomorrow. Sorry. Because you still have more data tomorrow. Why would you position yourself in a way or start selling? Remember, you got to think about the money manager. Someone who has 401ks, has retirements, or who just trades and wants to make money. What are they? Well, the person that's trading, like us, is thinking, you're not going to see, and we shouldn't see any major type of positioning because this is not a surprise. Everything pretty much came in line, right? We were expecting this. The market was expecting this already because these numbers come out. The expectations come out well in advance. Okay, the risk of saying that you're just going to sell everything because you had one tick up in these numbers, you still have more data tomorrow. That's what I'm getting at. Wait until tomorrow. If you're going to see a risk off, you're going to see it with PPI. You're going to see it with retail sales. You're going to see it with the initial jobless claims. If that initial jobless claims cannot give it, look at the previous number. Look at last month's number. It was 216,000. It was the lowest number. It was so low. Look at this. This needs to go up. I think we're more worried about the jobs data now. Start worrying about the jobs data because that's going to help the numbers we got today. One foot in front of the other, right? Initial jobless claims and individuals working If the labor market is continuously as tight as it is, how do you get these numbers down? You don't. You need people to get laid off. You need this labor market to soften a bit, to slow the demand. So I'm going to be waiting for the initial jobless claims, and I can't believe that this initial jobless claims isn't read. I have no fucking game plan today. I'm so upset. I'm so pissed. So frustrated, but I'll find something. I'll probably just watch The Spy and the Qs. So what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to let you guys know whatever it is that I do. I think we got to focus on the labor market. I'm going to keep it at that. I think we got to keep stay focused on the labor market, because the labor market's the only way you're going to have things cool down. That's the only way. That's the only way. And then today, I guess you have a bunch of tech leaders go to the government, and I wanted to say so bad this morning, this is what y'all forgot about Joe Biden. He don't give a fuck about you guys. And what he's doing, he's trying to make laws and legislation with AI. This meeting where other Congress people aren't allowed and shit like that, this is the person that doesn't like you. This is the little bit that shows that he ain't your friend. I'm telling you that right now. He will be quick to listen to your phone calls or give them the right to do whatever they want over your little peasant ass. I'm telling you that right now. This is the stuff that I don't like about Joe. Right? If you're going to have an AI meeting and have all these tech people come in, there's no reason why there shouldn't be other people, not just your administration, and other people are not allowed to participate. So here's the test of the 50-day on the spy. There's the test of the 50-day on the spy. Let me move it up. Let me get it. All right, because I might just trade the spy today, because I can just go to the spy and trade that. And I'm like just shy of being able to throw a rock at his house right now. What's up, Bingo? How you doing, buddy? Let's see if we pull back and hold pre-market highs. So what we'll do is right here on the S&Ps is you're going to have a pullback. You should have a pullback. I'm not saying you're going to. Awesome. Dude, I'm with you, man. I know, I'm with you, bro. I had a really bad storm last night. And Collins had it too. And look, here we go. Here's the relative strength. Let me go to a 3-minute chart. Let me take pre-market off so I can really get a... Okay, never mind. It's pulling... We are kind of pulling back. We had a... Dude, it was ripping. The wind, the lightning. Okay. Oh, that sucks, man. Try and log off and log it back on. What broker... Which ones are you using? You use Thinkorswim as well, or? Yeah, okay, I had a feeling. That's weird, bro. Shit, let me... Alright, so let me get up the Qs over here. At least that way I can keep an eye on technology and other stuff. So yeah, like I was saying to watch the watch for tomorrow's labor market number. How do we solve this problem? The only way you solve it is by, loosening up the labor market. The labor market's so tight right now. We haven't had a pullback. We should be starting to come into the time when you would start to see the labor market start to pull back. We've had enough time under our belt now to where you should be able to start to see a change, right? And if it doesn't start to show its face, what does the Fed do? Does that mean that they over tighten? Does that mean they say to themselves, "Well, we got to just keep raising and raising until something happens"? Then shit's real. Then you don't really want that. But I think they're smart. It's not that I think I don't. It's not that I think, but I know that they're smarter than that. All right, let me see here real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me. All right, so the good about this, looking at it, the core inflation is obviously what the Fed monitors, is showing an improvement over on a year over year basis. Still above 2% target, but I feel like we're you know what I mean. We still get this number next month and the month after that, and if it's still rise, or like if we're not making the progress we were making some really good progress there for a while. That type of tone is going to change. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, Roku's just, I think it's done. Might get a pop here. All right, so the SPY's still sitting up there at the 50 days, taking a little bit of time up here. I gotta change this. I gotta stay focused. Show extending appearance. All right, so let me throw up. Come on. No, I don't want to. Come on. I know I was missing something here. Oh, shit. I heard them talking about Tesla too. Yeah. So looks like there's the rejection on the 50 day. Let's see if we can get a pullback on Tesla. I wouldn't mind seeing a pullback on Tesla. If we can crack yesterday's low, we should come back down and retest this. Retest 259.45. Which should be right around where the 100 day is. Come on. So there's a gap up. I wouldn't mind seeing it. We know we have resistance up here. We know we have resistance at 280, 279. It's resistance now. Well, does it mean it will be when we get up there? No, it can go up there and break. But I'm gonna I'm gonna stay consistent that I feel like we have a decent amount of resistance up here because we don't have a. Maybe Tesla does have a reason to go higher. That's a really nice break and retest. So it's holding up here. That's a pullback. Boom. Yeah, we'll see. This could be the pullback. Yesterday could have been the pullback for that break higher on Tesla. So yeah, Tesla's on watch for sure. But if for some reason it cannot get the volumes, I'm not going to say it's low. Man, this is crazy. All right, so I feel like this is it for the SPY. It's had plenty of time. So there's your tech CEOs arriving on Capitol Hill to figure out how they can make laws against you and using AI or taking away some of the capabilities that you should have, parts of AI that you can use or not use. I think people forget this is the administration of Biden and Obama that y'all forget. I think you guys forget about this stuff. Or at least not you guys, but like people out there forget about, their real demeanor. All right, so let me get back on track. It's me. Okay. Let's bring it up. Let's do it. Let's bring it up. See what we got going on. Why would they be talking about Meta? Let's see here. Let's go take a look. It's coming into resistance. It's coming into resistance. Yeah, AMD is one that I've also had on watch. This is going to be hard for somebody that has ADHD. This is going to be really hard. There's still the rejection on the S&Ps. Rejecting that 50-day. Is it going to do it here? You have a really nice flag on the SPY. Watch for the SPY to break through that 50-day. If it does, everything else is going to go higher. That's a lower volume pullback. I feel like it's not catching a bid. Man, look at that flag, guys, on the SPY. Look at that flag. Man, I want to take pre-market off, but here, maybe I'll do this. We'll call this pre-market highs, roughly, give or take. Alright, so come on. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. And look, Meta's going to have trouble. If Meta breaks up, it's going to get to that 307, like I said the other day. All right, so there's a pullback on the SPY. That was a failed breakout, a failed attempt above the 50-day on the S&Ps, guys. This is what I said. Watch to see if we hold pre-market highs. Watch to see if we hold it. Oh, man. I got so much going on. This is insane. Really. It really is. Elon does not want to be there. All right, so look at Meta. If you hold this level here, guys, Meta could extend higher at 304. That's a nice call out by Bingo. Watch this 304 area where it just pulled back to. This is an important level. If it breaks, you know, I would be taking profits in front of yesterday's high. If you get there, you have a lot of resistance at 308.56 on Meta. I didn't know it got to 308 yesterday or the day before. I had no idea that it got that high, 309. But that's not surprising. So let me get my, just in case the S&Ps decide to break above the 50-day. Oh my gosh. Yo, what's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy? What is, I wonder what JP Morgan's doing today. It's probably settled down or pulled back. So if Meta does break out, guys, you're going to have room to 310. Really, the resistance level isn't until 316, 315. It's not really until you get up to this area here. So I like Meta for the watch. 306. Let me not go all the way up there and start doing that stuff until we break out. Until we get a reason to break out. You don't have nothing stopping you until you get up to this pivot high, though. I will say that. And I'm going to draw a box there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, man. God, I love this shit so much. All it needed was me to have a little break away from it and to realize how much I missed it. All right, so let's see if the SPY rolls over, guys, right here. Let's see if the SPY rolls over right here. This is where I want to see the SPY pull itself back, if it's going to. If the SPY breaks up and out of this area and gets back up to the 50-day, that is going to be a failed breakdown. Look for it to break the 50-day. And there it is. Told you. What'd I tell you? You're going to need some volume, though. It's still not... It still needs that... It still needs the energy to do it. If it's going to do anything. Let's look at the volume. Yeah, the volume's pretty low this morning, guys. To the sell side. I feel like we can pull it back and then we're going to get bought up. The volume is kind of trash on the 1 minute. Like I say, tomorrow's Thursday. You know what happens. You know what goes down on Thursdays. What are you watching this morning, Chris? How you doing? What about you, Collins? You alright, bro? I know it sucks to be impatient. So that's a nice resistance area right here, guys. I don't know if you guys see that or not. Right there at 447.25. It's more so like right here. That's your middleman right there, 447.35. Oh, cool, man. That's what's up. Yeah, I feel you, Chris. I feel you, man. I'm with you. I'm actually kind of waiting for tomorrow myself. I'm just going to watch the SPY. We had some storms last night. And I'm going to do the same and wait for the initial jobless claims and retail sales to come out tomorrow. I think that's the second half of this that the market's going to wait for. That's a pretty nice resistance support level. We're sitting at a support level right now, guys. We're holding that prior resistance in the support. Look, watch it start to bounce up right now. But again, you may just don't get chopped out and feel like you got to make a trade on the SPY. Unless there's clear volume and a direction, You got to look at your risk to reward. If you're from your entry, where is your exit? Right? If we're getting in right now and we're saying I'm going to be long the SPY because I think it's going to break the 50-day, well, where's it going? 447.55 is a profit area that I would take. So that's 446.70 to this area up here at like 447.57. Right? That's about $1. So, you know what I mean? Just know what it is. Keep, unless you have a nice setup, which there might be some out there. We're just, so here, let's see if this volume starts to change up a little bit to the buy side. I don't know though. It's a little fishy this morning. Okay, that's a 3-minute. So there's resistance. Alright, so Meta's struggling. I feel like my charts just got slow. It might not be that. It's probably. Did your charts end up working, Bingo? Did they fix themselves? So I feel like mine just slowed up there for a minute. Man, this sucks because we don't really have any. Okay, that's good. That's good. So let's see what we do at 446. Here we come. We're coming to 446. Look at that. Look at that straight bounce right off pre-market highs. Let's check it out. Meta's trying to pull back. The Qs kind of slowed themselves down too. Let's see what's in the lead, what's not, Like, let's see. He said Amazon, AMZN. I haven't looked at Amazon in quite some time for some reason. And I feel like here's the break coming. You got a little bit of increase in. They might hold this thing up. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some volume start stepping in here. It is a nice break and retest on Amazon. Look at that pattern. You're right, Chris. Look at that beauty. Boom, boom. 140. That was a breakthrough 140 on Friday. And you pulled back to it. And look, you just blasted right off of it. But I would watch for a double top up there. 143. I don't know if there's any weekly moving averages up there or not at 143. So if I go to the weekly chart. Excuse me. I don't think there is. No, there's not. Man, this thing is overbought like crazy. When are we going to get this off? Look at this resistance here on the weekly chart. Look at that. That's a major resistance level for Amazon. That might be a good short opportunity. I might be alone on that, and that's okay. I might try and take it. I don't know. Like, am I wrong to do that? Because we don't, like... My problem with that is, like, why fight the short if we don't have a reason to come down? I mean, you can't argue that resistance. You can't argue this level. That could possibly be a triple top now. Let's watch. Good, great. Thanks for bringing this one up, man. Yeah, for sure. If you break over this level, your next stop is 165. I'm telling you that right now. You break and you close above this level here. You break and close it. you're going to go to 153, 154. You're going to pull it back, and it's going to hold this previous base here, this resistance, and then you're going to find itself by November up at end of October into November at 165. Guarantee it. Okay. Dude, we have actually a lot going on here, and the SPY ain't doing shit. And they said they just came across a wire right now. Unity is falling. Okay, so there's the pullback. You try to get the bounce there on Amazon. Let me go to let me go to let me go to AMD. Just be careful on AMD. The volume is it's not bad. The volume's not bad, but I would be careful. That is yeah, that's a nice rejection. Yeah, I see that. It looks like hold on. Look, well, pre-market would be right here. Oh, you're saying prior day's high. Yeah, prior day's high. Exactly. Yeah, prior day's high. But look at this resistance level you have up here. Right? 106. This is a big resistance level there. But what I want to see is if that 100-day, it looks like what you're doing is rejecting the 100-day possibly. No, we're not to it yet. What is this? Come on. Oh, that was our target, I guess, to get up there, and it already did it. So I can probably get rid of this. I don't know why I had that there. Did Ford and GM ever do their deal? Because today was the deadline, too. So there's your 100-day and 50-day, like, just hanging out together. I don't know what this, if that's, I don't know what I had that for there, but. Alright. Alright, so there's a really nice rejection on the SPY. If it makes this resistance, I would be looking for. I mean, it's just going to chop sideways. The SPY isn't going to do anything. Right now, at least, I feel like. Yeah. There's a nice break there on AMD. Nice. Nice. Damn it. So there would be my target. My target would be up there at that up here at one. I'd be taking profits at 107.50. Take profits in front of 106.50, 107.50, and then final target would have to be your 100-day moving average, which is also a which is up at like 108.50. So pretty much every dollar. Man, that's a nice one, bro. Good job. You want to watch this 107.50. I would watch that area. 107.50 you might get a little pullback, but you got an increase in buying there. So, nice trade. Very nice, guys. That's awesome. We're a bit oversold. Shit. Yeah, exactly. It was nice. That was a really nice. Clap it up. Clap it up. That was nice. Look at that volume. That's the highest volume of the day, but that's you're starting to get a pullback on it. That's more so selling pressure. The Qs are not at the high. The Qs aren't at their highs. Damn, that's a sick. You guys, that's awesome. And then watch like, and he was bringing up Meta also. So Amazon's up there. I might try and take a short on Amazon. Let me look at this volume real quick. I think the reason why I would short Amazon here is because yes, we had good earnings and stuff, but what's the catalyst to make new highs? You had good earnings, you made new highs. Now it's time to consolidate, bring more buyers in, and then have another reason to make another leg higher. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just time. Maybe this thing is just over. You know, they got ahead of itself when they sold it, and this thing's worth a lot more than where it's at right now. But I still feel. Yep, here comes your next 15-minute candle too, guys. I feel like you're going to have a lot of people waiting to get in at 138 also. I'm going to go take a small short on Amazon if I can get in there. Shit, I might have waited too long. I might have to pay up for this. It's falling out of bed right now. Damn it. That was a really nice. That would have been a nice one. I'd have had a piece off right there. 142. 140. I'm going to see if I can get a bounce back on this. What's today? Tuesday? I'm going to take a small trade on that. See, fuck. That was my chance right there. I almost got in right there at that pop back up, but I'm like, shit. It's probably not too late at all to take this. Yeah. I'm going to sit here and see if I can get another chance. I got it. Shit. I'm not in. I'm not in. Unfortunately, I'm not in. I wish I was in right there on that pullback, but I'm not. What's going on here? Because this option's... Let me go back and then put my order back up because it didn't really fill me there. All right, I am in. I'm in. I'm in there. 43. What time is this? 10:02. Let me put my entry on here. Let me make sure that I'm seeing everything. All right, so that was the entry. Let me put on. And today is what? Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. All right. So I did, well, so I grabbed the 140s. I just grabbed a few. See if I can get this thing, see if we can get this thing to pull back to like 142. Come on, Spy. Roll it over. Roll it over. Let's go. There's a small 5%. I'm going to take a piece off right there. I just took a small piece off of that. I don't like the volume on the downside, guys. Hopefully it can increase. It might increase, but guys, look at this level 2 and time and sales. There we go. They're packed. They're trying to pack in here. I'm going to give it a minute. Nice, nice. Nice job. I'm going to try and take... because I am kind of far out of the money, but not really. I'm at the 140s for the end of this week, and I feel like I don't want to get trapped and start holding support here. I need to not ask so many questions. It's relatively strong there off the bell, so there's another. There's another one right there at 12%. There's another. That's it, guys. So this thing's got more room. I'm out of that trade right now into that previous resistance. There's still more left, but I'm out of that trade. Yes, I scalped it, I know, but because this level is too much for Amazon. It's got a lot. I feel like it's got further down, but I didn't have any more contracts left. I want to, keep it moving, and I bought a little bit more than I wanted to. Nice job, Chris. Exactly. There we go. 18% might not sound like a lot, but you know what I mean. If your average is $1,000, that's a quick $180, and we do this. You do it all day long, because there's the S&Ps getting into yesterday's close. We might get a bounce on the SPY. I still feel like Amazon's got more room to the downside. I really do. I feel like you see Amazon down here at 141.34. I feel like you got a nice trade and you still got some more. There's a lot more meat on the bone there. But again, it may pop up. You know what I mean? You may get your bounce. So I like to get in it because when you're catching that downside and then it pulls back, depending on where you're buying your options, if you're buying them even if you're buying them at the money, right? Or like $1 or $2 away from the money. When you get that movement, you want to take advantage of it because when it pulls back, especially in weeklies, it's going to drain that. You know what I mean? You're going to go right back to red. You don't want to get yourself into that emotional state of having a trade go green and something changes and now the stock is completely red and you had a chance to take profit off. Just take profits as it gets to your points. And if you're going to trade options, if you don't sacrifice price for time, get time. Yes, I play weeklies on these because I'm looking to just catch that move. If I wanted to sit here with this getting down to 140, I would be buying 2 to 3 weeks out. Right? I would be buying 2 to 3 weeks out, which is the smart thing to do so that you can sit on it, let it do what it needs to do, and you don't have to be emotionally attached to the trade. And you're not watching it tick for tick for tick. So there was my target, was 142. But this is a good area at 141.50. That's where I'm going to call it. 141.50 is where I would think about, taking this trade off because you might just get another bounce back up and it could just sit up here. Right? Amazon could just sit up here in a little range. Yeah, man. Absolutely, bro. No problem. And I feel like there's still a decent amount of meat on the bones. I put a little more size onto that than I wanted to, but I was pretty confident in this. Nice job, bro. Nice job. It's about your entries. I was excited. I was kind of glad that I did not get my fill here because that would have changed my trade completely around. Instead of getting in at 46 cents, I got in at 42. Right? That little bit of difference from getting in down here when I thought that it was going to start its rollover then to getting in up here. So of course, we were on the 1 minute when I was looking at it. That makes all the difference. There's a 4-cent difference here, even on the ask. It was 46 cents down here at the low of this candle. And once we got back up here to 42, 41, I got in and got filled at 42.50. So I pretty much got filled at 43 cents with 50 cents for whatchamacallit. And look at the RSI, guys. So this is why you can use all these to say that there's going to, you're going to get a bounce. Now we're a bit oversold. It's going to bounce back up. probably bounce back up to get this 142, call it 142.45, 142.48 area right here. 142.50 to make it resistance. That's sweet, bro. That's awesome. With me having weeklies, which I might start changing and getting like, maybe I might start getting like next week's contracts. Um, that way I start holding on the trades a little longer. So the SPY had a pretty decent sell off, and it could continue. But I think tomorrow is more so the day. I mean, I don't know. My gut feeling would be that tomorrow would be the determining factor on what the SPY is going to do. So this area right here, 142. So that 142 was the target on that trade. See how it wicked just below 142? You get that bounce up. So like I thought yesterday, like we said, see if JP Morgan has trouble getting in this gap and tries to pull itself back down. If it's able to pull back off of that level, I may take the position because I have a TLT long still in my account. I want to see if I can get a long on JP Morgan right here if it's able to get to the 50-day. If it's able to get there, it may not get there. It may find support around 145.50, right? I feel like this is where you're going to see JP Morgan get back down to right here. Right there. So it may not get to the 100-day. Or what could happen is that it sits here and now it's trying to make that range, that box support, and start to bounce. So I'm still going to keep JP Morgan on watch because what that's going to do, that's going to hedge my long with TLT if that's not working out. What's that? On it? Where's that, Collins? On Amazon? There was some news that just came across the wire. So JP Morgan's still on watch for me. Man, this you could still get Amazon. Man, if I should have got time on this thing, because I still feel like Amazon's coming back down to 138. I think it's still got a ways to go. Oh, SPY. Yeah, I know. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. I know. I see it. There was a little. So it sounds like WeWork is doing something right now or has been doing something. I don't know if they have earnings or not. Look, there's a break. There's a retest of that 142.18 area with VWAP. Look, I guarantee you that might be the 23.6 fib, 32 fib. 23.6 right there with VWAP. So I start from the top and go to the bottom because I'm measuring like the pullbacks, which you can see. You don't really need a Fibonacci if you can kind of gauge. You know what I mean? You know where if I give you like if I give you this, you're going to know where 50% is. Right? It's not that hard. You know, find 20, you know, a quarter of the move. She's struggling. She is definitely struggling here. Yeah, like this is what I was afraid of, that the SPY is oversold. See that it's oversold, but yet it can continue lower. Um, Make sure if you guys don't look Chris and Bingo said, and I know you do accounts, but for anybody that's on here that is new or something. Always look at your 5 minute, look at your 15-minute chart. You got to look at it. Go look at that 15-minute volume, 5-minute volume, 3-minute. Make sure you're covering your grounds. It's important. I like it. It tells me a lot when Bingo. It was either Bingo or Chris. I'm pretty sure it was Bingo. Had said this 15-minute candle coming in is going to be important. That tells me my guy doing what he needs to do. So, because it's important, you're going to be able to, you want to be able to paint a picture for yourself and really see who's in control. Do they start piling on Amazon short here? Is this the move? Are we going to get a new low? Not a new low, but is Amazon going to put in a low here? It's coming. I felt like that was the time to really start sinking their teeth in the short here, selling this thing off. And also, you're going to notice if you're newer, please get comfortable with different stocks, because you're going to go to different stocks and you're going to try to trade Tesla and then Apple and then Microsoft and Amazon, and then you're going to trade Nvidia, a small cap. There it is. Told you guys. There's the extension lower. I knew it. I fucking knew it. You want to get comfortable with whatever it is that you're trading. You want to get comfortable with whatever it is, because everything doesn't trade the same. There's different volatility and different, I know guys in chat know what I'm talking about, because there was a point in time when I struggled with that, where I had trouble going from stock to stock and being able to, trade it the way that it should be traded, because of the movement, how long it takes for it to either give you the move that it needs, give you the move that you're looking for. It may take a little longer than others. No, I know, man, but there's still a ton of meat left on the bone. That's what I was saying. So, like I say, here's how we can do that, and I'll do it with you guys. We'll buy next week's contracts, because even if you're buying 10 dailies or 5 dailies or 4 dailies or weeklies, I mean, I'm just gonna say $500, right? $500. If you buy one or two of a contract, that's 250, 300, 400, whatever the price is, the percentage gain is going to be a lot more than it's going to be on the weeklies, right? So 10% on a next week's at $500, 10% on $500 is more than 10% or 20% for that matter on a 50, 80, $100 contract. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm telling you guys, this Amazon had some meat left on the bone. This is where it's headed to. 141.50 area. It's coming here. I know it is. It's coming right back down to 141.50. Nice. Let me see here. I think we just got into that. No, that's not the gap fill. I don't even, if the ones you were in, Chris, are at 50%, I don't even want to look at the ones that I'm in. But I'm okay with what I got. I'm alright with what I got. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm green, right? Feel good about being green. Watch the SPY to see if it holds support here. Collins, if you have puts in the SPY, I'm not telling you what to do, bro, but just watch if this level does not break. If the SPY cannot break 445, watch out. Watch out, right? There's your, if you look at this, support, resistance, support, it may break. But was the news today enough to break this level? Are we going to wait for tomorrow's data to break this 445? That's what I would ask myself. Well, like I say, man, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but I just wanted to let you know that is a major support level, right? That's your previous double top, and this 445 is a psychological shit. Damn right, Chris. I'm so glad you brought up Amazon. We were able to capitalize on it. See if it bounces back to yesterday's low. I want to see SPY bounce up. I want to see it bounce up and reject yesterday's low, or hell, head right back up to the opening price. This might be a nice long on the SPY. We might start to get some buyers in here. Sorry, I know the charts were messed up. See, I feel like that's about it for Amazon. Like it's going to do things, but that it's going to go to the downside or whatever, but that's not without having these bounce backs. You can see the volume starting to dwindle down too. That tells me traders have already traded this. They're out of the long and they're getting out of the short. Like look at that, look at the volume, the decrease in volume there. Right? Look at that decrease in volume. And that also tells me they might be trying to go for the long. Or the short's getting ready to come in. But I feel like that long's going to, the shorts are going to take profit. We'll see. See what happens here. So that tells me, you know, it's starting to slow down a little bit. I would look for the SPY to get back up to 446. I want to see if we bounce back to 446. So 446.16. So here's the low that you're going to have people like Tom Lee and whoever the bulls are, they're going to be buying this dip. Damn, there was two orders for 1,200 shares that just got filled to the downside, to the sell side. Back to back. Another 1,700 order sell. There's another 17, another 1,000. There's a 2,000 buy side. 1,600 to the buy. They're battling right now. Because I noticed that those sells were like right there, they're right with each other. And then following, you had a $2,300, or not a $2,300, a 2,300 share and a 1,800 buys, like coming in right like a few minutes afterwards. Like they're trying to hold this market up. Watch the size on the buy side to see if they try and keep this market up. Again, they will also just buy it because this could be a new low, right? They're buying the dip. This would be you buying the dip. If you're buying right now, you're buying the dip. This is where you should be getting long. If you're a person who thinks we're going to go higher, then you need to be buying right here. Because your risk to reward is best right here. This is a lower high. This is technically a lower high. Maybe I should just start drinking Red Bull in the morning every morning, guys. We've had some nice trades this morning. Nice setups. You know what I mean? They're not some home runs. We'll get the home runs, but you're right. You're exactly right, Chris. That is true. That is true. Right? Because you're pretty much making it free. But this is what I don't like, right? We got this. Boom. Like we got that flush. And then we got the bounce back. And then it rolled over. And then like that was it. But even this is slow. Because you don't know if things are just going to just stop. As far as like, you know, the continuation. If it's just going to go up and then down. Up and then down. And it kind of just sit there. You don't know. I mean, you can do your best to read time in sales in level 2. But taking profit off on that move where you're getting the meat of that profit. It's just it's just going to help you in the long run, right? Maybe you start thinking about, over time sizing up, right? And at least sizing up when you have setups like this. Let me see here. I'm gonna go do some searching here, and then I wanna go cover the start going through some charts. What's his name's on CNBC? Dan Imes, I think is his name. Yeah, Dan Ives. This guy's on CNBC right now. So we got some. Oh, and we do have some oil data and stuff too coming out, and they just. I guess we have something else coming out. Let me see what we have going on here. Um. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, 10:30, guys. This crude oil stock change is going to be important, actually. So let's watch oil. We may have a trade on oil here in a couple minutes. I'm going to go over to XLE and USO, and I'm going to get levels for that and natural gas. This 1030 number, guys, you never see this here black, like bold, right? Because you have, like, do you guys notice here on the left, 1030, 1030, and 830, how there's, this is bold letters and then this is red. It tells you the importance, right? If it's important or not. So this is going to be important, this crude number. So I'm going to go over to oil and see. Don't give back if you guys made anything today. Don't give it back. Don't give it back. We want to see a clear sign that we got to trade in order for us to take it. Let me go to the daily to make sure I got all my moving averages. Man, XLE's back at new highs, guys. Look at that. Oh my God. Guys, it's at all-time highs. It's high of the year. Are you kidding me? Guys, we called this out 4 weeks ago, a month ago. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is so insane, guys. Look at the volume today. And look at this volume. The volume's still increasing. That's telling me we're going to break this, guys. That's telling me we're going to break through that high. That's just a putting in a base to rip to new highs, man. We might be talking about the Iraq days where oil was really high. Nice. Nice job, Bingo. Okay, sweet. Awesome. Awesome. Holy shit. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. I just haven't... It's been so long since I've seen anything like this. Look at that. That's so crazy. That's so insane. So like, this volume is telling me that it's trying to break $93. It's trying to break $93. I love it. Yeah, I would. It was looking pretty strong too. I noticed that too, Chris. For the upside, it had some nice momentum. Indeed. What is that? India. All right, so this is the first time I've ever seen oil data like be important. This is you'll rarely ever see this number like be in bold letters, if not red. So this is obviously going to be a really important number that's coming up here. That's really going to move the energy markets. NWGL. NWGL. Dude, India, Michael, Papa, Lima. Sorry, I get confused sometimes with those. So here's a pop small 80 cent, 69 cent. Here's all the guys that missed the move on Amazon and Google. They're oh shit, it's out. It's out. Is this what's going to
expected? Crude pulling back here on those larger than expected builds.
So 3.94 versus a previous negative 6. The consensus was negative 1, so that's good. 5 versus 0.2. All right.
IMPL, another spike here, 58% now.
IMPL. Yeah, this thing's going. There was news out just on this thing about a drug release or something. I'd look for this to get up into like $1.14 if it's able to get there. You might have some sellers sitting at $98. Just be careful, because when you start to see this type of selling, and then that's not a good example.
Marty Technologies popping here, Michael Romeo Tango India. Michael Romeo Tango.
Is this a new stock? Wow, this is a fairly new stock, guys.
BA Boeing out with a forecast for
Boeing news.
demand for 1,000.
So there's resistance on IMPL 97.81. It's like 95 cents. And there seems to be the pullback. Yeah, it's pulling back. Coming back up now. So what's cool about IMPL is you have the 50-day and 100-day right here at 95. This is actually a really good setup to get like 5, 10, 15 cents off of it. Really, it would be 10 cents, 5 cents, depending on your fill. But I don't. You guys have to look at the float and stuff like that, because I'm not sure if it what the size of the float is there. Let me get.
Bloomberg headline: Microsoft's tweaked Army goggles worked well in tests.
All right, so Microsoft. All right. Damn right, guys. I'm happy about today. It wasn't a home run day, but man, we identified an opportunity and took advantage of it. So that's breaking up above resistance. Still feel like it. Microsoft, man. So hear me out. It feels like we're gonna climb higher. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I feel like everything wants to climb higher. Oddly enough, it does. I still feel like. So NWGL is now halted. Come on. NWGL. Oh, no. Fuck that thing. I'm not worried about that thing. IMPL is over $1. That's the one. IMPL, that's the one we were talking about. So I said yesterday and last week, I felt like we could start seeing a pullback in energy. I started saying it like Thursday, Friday. Do I take advantage of it?
Posted on a circuit breaker
That's the
now
question.
at the
Do I
highs for
try
IMPL.
to step in front of it?
At the highs.
I mean, 78.50 feels like a good place for USO.
Up
I'm gonna
85%.
let this trade go and not worry about it too much. I'm not like in a hurry to try and um trade this, especially today after a nice base hit trade today. Yeah, they all had the same setup. Yeah, it was. Oh, I'm on a 15 minute. That's why. Let's look at the pipelines. How did that affect rig? Yeah, rig sold off. I was kind of wondering if that was going to be like Tiger Global or something. So rig is definitely pulling itself back. Rig had a really nice setup on the daily chart that I thought was, you know, a lot nicer than the other ones. And I found out about Rig Transocean back in like, well, didn't really like find out about it, but like HP, Helmerich and Payne and Rig, I didn't really find that out until like 2021, 2022. Is really when I found out about these pipelines. Because if you guys look at these, right, I want you guys to realize what's went on since, for the past few years. Look at the potential you just had. Look at the potential to where it has to go. We're talking 177, 50, 40, right? 75. There was a run back here at $9, double topped at 57. That's a that's a 500% return on the stock itself, right? Of course, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but still, right? This thing's shown you $18 to $163. So some of these lower names, because I was getting in this thing back here at $2, $3. I didn't get in on this one, but back here, this is when I was getting in rig, when I started to make a position. It was at $3, $2. And then let's look at HP. That one was in like the low 20s when I was looking at it. And this is another big one that can really get going. Wow, look at it just this past. That sucks. So like look at HP, guys. Look at this thing. What year is this? So I can't really see the year. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2010. Like look at this, guys. Bang. No, that's HD. I was like, yeah, HP doesn't look like that. That looked odd. I'm sorry. I was wondering what the hell was going on there. So HP's another one I'm watching, and it's these pipelines. I still think, man, it's put in that double top there. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. But these names can give you, especially like Rig, Transocean, can give you some big returns. And I got on it because I listened to the earnings call, and the pipelines themselves, and what they do is they rent the stuff to drill. They rent it out. Now it's not sitting in a warehouse. They're you know what I mean? They're getting the shit going, and they're charging more, right? So that's kind of what really got me onto them was their earnings call. You have a great rest of your day, Bingo. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to be here pretty much all day, so feel free to stop back in if you'd like. Glad you guys had a successful day today. I really am. I'm glad I had a good day. You guys had a good day. I'm pretty happy. As bad as I want to promise you, and I can't, I think tomorrow is going to be the day that we really want to look for, where we get a directional movement. I think we get some direction tomorrow. I'm going to be honest. I really do think it's tomorrow.
86 cents now down 18%. Nature wood group. NWGL.
Wow, look, this thing's just breaking resistance right now. Speaking of that, right? It's breaking this range right here. So if you look at it, right, there's your next upside range. It
IMPO
just
is
broke
heading
into
down.
it.
The micro combo
Just
before
broke into it, right?
IMPO.
So it's all in how you guys look at it. It's why it's important to look at the daily charts.
They're
So,
hitting $1.05 now, making more highs.
all right. So let me go back to like a 1 minute, 3 minute. I'm gonna go to. Yeah, this was a nice trade to take both ways. See, this is why you need to take profits, because just because you think you're going to go back down here and test these lows or whatever, the stock can reverse on you. So I noticed here when we were in this trade, look at the RSI. On this move, it got down here to 42, 41.85, 42 area. Look where the RSI is. It's going to bounce. It's at 36. It's oversold. So, and there's your lower high. So, this could be a bearish divergence. There's your lower high, but the stock made a new high. Why is this doing this? So, I wonder how many people that took this trade and didn't take profit, and now it's back at new highs. This is in a sense, like I'm looking at it in two different directions or two different ways. This you could consider a bullish move, right? In the sense that it rallied, it pulled itself like 60 it retraced 60% of the upside move, but then immediately made a new high right after the pullback. It pulls back and then it goes to the upside and makes a new high. That's bullish. The only not so bullish thing about this, and it's got volume. So you can't argue with this move. Be thankful that we took profits, guys. Be thankful we took profits, because we could be in this thing right now and stopping out, either break even or we could have a loss on our hands. Right? That's why it's important. Lower high on the MACD. Look at that volume. Is there news? Look at the RSI. That's still a lower high on the RSI from this morning, right? Put in a high around 80. This is around 71. So, you know, of course, that is on the 1 minute with pre-market and after hours.
HKD hitting $5.93.
HKD's going now. Dude, is Amazon about to short squeeze? Dude, Amazon might get going. Holy shit. This is crazy. I weirdly feel like we've broken above the level now. You can start to see shorts start to cover. This is crazy on Amazon. I feel like this was the breaking point right there. This level. Oh, there's a gap fill there too. I didn't notice that. Well, I also didn't look for it either. There's a gap fill in here, guys. Right there. 143. So there's that gap fill. So here we go. Let's see if it's filling the gap right now. Yeah, look at that pop. I wonder who in here is short and got screwed right now. Always, always, always look to make sure that there's not a price upgrade. News. Morning memo. So if they're trying to spy Amazon. Let's see spot our Amazon here. Current stance is around 140.52. Those with a positive outlook aim to solidify above this point with sights 141, whatever. Okay. Europe set to launch its anti-subsidy probe into Chinese EVs. FanDuel selects AWS as its strategic cloud provider. So that's some bullish news. Um, let's see here. So Amazon to increase wages for contracted drivers amid unionization push. Um, wow, look at that fucking volume, man. I wonder if Chris is seeing this.
CEO says over the next few weeks, cascade changes of the organization will be rolled out more broadly by the end of the fourth quarter. That's letter C.
That's so insane. All right, there's another pullback off the 50-day. I feel like so the SPY put in it. So picture this is how I would look at the SPY, right? So we went to the 50-day, we rejected it, we pulled back, we broke yesterday's low, and as soon as we break yesterday's low, we're all the way back up at the high of the day and the 50-day. Right? This V going from the 50-day to putting in to cracking yesterday's low and then taking it back. What did we say? If you're a bull and you're long, this is you buying the dip right now. You could have bought that dip and look what you would have got out of it. Another run to the 50-day. So maybe it's just a sideways chop type of day. Maybe the SPY puts independent. Let's see if this is the case. I'm going to draw some lines here. I'm going to draw lines on the charts. All right, and we're going to see if we can make a pattern out of this. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to hang my hat on this and see if it works out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But we'll find out. Once you do this for X amount of time, for so long, you kind of start seeing stuff. All right, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. shit. I'm sitting here talking and the mic wasn't on. Oh my gosh. Um, I was just looking at Google. What was that, Chris? Which one? Damn, there was a big sell order on Google right there. See if I can find it. Oh, I thought it was big. I felt like it was like 4,500 shares, but it wasn't. I want to see if we go higher. I'm really curious to see if we go higher. Man, that's a nice long. Looks like I was wrong about Amazon. I mean, I still think it comes to the downside, but I was wrong about it. Not, once we got back up to that high, look at the volume that came in, and I said it. We start getting into that gap. You're gonna see whoever is short. You're gonna start seeing covering, and this thing start to squeeze. Yeah. Yep. Well, I was talking about it on the daily chart, and I don't know if my mic was on or off. That's the problem. I don't know if it was on or off. There was a gap to the left, and it was like I was explaining how, like with the S&P, how you have this V where you rally, but you pulled back, and then you immediately take back that entire move. So who's in control? The bulls. They just bought the lower high or higher low. You know what I'm saying? So they just bought the higher low right there. This is a support level. They just bought it. Higher low. Low, low, low. They just bought it. They just bought this. Where do I think we can go? Let me see if I can help figure out where the hell it is we're going. Where are we going? So, Chris, start if you feel like you're having trouble with that, start grabbing longer dated contracts if you're playing options. That looks like Google's trying to go. And say to yourself and stick to it and do it. If the stock does not get past your entry, like if I got long Amazon right here in this candle, right? On this pullback, if I got long here, even if it was like right here, right here at this low, then I would say I got 2 weeks on this, right? Or I got next week options, so I have like a week and a half. I would say I am not selling this until it either gets to this high where I'll take a piece off, or for me to stop out. Where would my stop be? My stop would be below this here, because then it puts in a new low there. It's telling you that you're still putting in lower lows. So if you get this bounce and you go long, just say, I am not selling unless it gets to my entry price or below it. Like, if it gets back to your entry and below it, depending on how it does it, don't sell it and get a week, get next week's contracts. I know it's hard, but just try to tell yourself that. If you have time, it's going to make it easier on you to hold it and to say, I'm not selling it until, unless it gets back to the price that I bought it at, and in which the manner that it gets there. So that's, because, and another thing, guys. So look at this. Do you guys see something on Amazon? I'm going to show you something. Look at this. This is actually really cool that I did not see until now. Look what you have here. Look at this failed breakdown, guys. That's a bull flag and a half. Look at that bull flag, guys. That's a beautiful bull flag. Beautiful bull flag. Look at that bull flag. Look at that. That's a failed breakdown. It broke down. It pulled back to test it. Didn't sell off and extended. And it's still going on higher volume. Look at that fucking bull flag, guys. There's your flag. Right there. That's so insane. That's so fucking crazy. I didn't see it. I did not see that. Well, I already took profits down here, so that's why I wasn't too worried about this rollover. Yo, this thing is going, dude. Amazon is still going. It's up at highs. This is insane. I said it. I said, we break and close above this level, you will start having people short cover that are going to have to buy it. This was the break. That was the resistance area to break, like to really get shit popping. So, did we get to this here? I mean, 144.29 from what I'm seeing, man, and that's. Oh my gosh, come on. That's crazy. Amazon's going nuts. Oh shit, FTX is in Delaware court. I'm about to go see Sam. Y'all want me to get a video of him? Let me Google that, cause I'm right outside of Wilmington. Yo, let me find out Sam come to Delaware, guys. I swear to God, I'm getting a picture with him, or I'm gonna be in. You guys are. I'm gonna have a mugshot with this security or something. You're gonna see me get tackled. I'll be on CNBC. I'm just trying to get a picture, even though he's, you know, piece of shit. But it just sucks that somebody does that, right? And doesn't and can have a good life and still have a lot of money and not have to do that. It just sucks to, you know what I mean? Somebody that made something and it's so funny looking back on FTX on how, you know, you guys saw it, the umpires, the refs in games, they were building a stadium. It's like, where the fuck did this thing come from? Right? Where did it come from? It just blew up. Just blew up. Right? He was just giving everybody money. Here. But for somebody to do that, and, you know, well, it just sucks to see, you know. Like, why couldn't it have been somebody that didn't have shit, you know, and didn't screw a lot of people over, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know. It sounded better in my head. I mean, because, you know, his parents were already pretty wealthy, Stanford teachers. I think they were. I think one of them was a professor at Stanford. I think. But I know little Gary Gensler's friends with. Like, there's a little relationship there with them, and that's okay. But I don't know. All right, let's see if it can pull back now. And that was my entry. Let's see if Google cracks. Yeah, they're really piling it on the sell side. Eh. All right. All right. So, let's see here. I know, it is crazy, bro. Why is this doing this? Oh, that's why I'm not seeing anything. And it being late. Um, it is crazy. And it's funny, like I say, how you look back and it's like, oh, we should have seen that coming. Just out of nowhere, there was a state, like, he was just, FTX was everywhere. From commercials, every single game, from baseball, basketball, football, FTX, FTX, FTX. It's crazy. I forget where it was, but they weren't making fun of his girlfriend, but they were kind of making fun of like his decisions in life. Um, I don't know. I seen some funny ass memes with her though. So yeah, I'll have to look that in the news because I've been kind of wondering when or if he's coming to Delaware. Been wondering if he's going to come to Wilmington. Come on. I know. I know. It actually it didn't happen. It did, it happened pretty quick, but not really. I guess I don't know. You know, I feel like it blew up so quick. And you're right. It was about what, like a year afterwards. So you're right. Yeah, it probably shouldn't have taken that long. Again, I don't know. What type of legal things that he was supposed to do. But again, if he was like registered in the Bahamas or somewhere else and not having to, it's not like he was traded on the Nasdaq. It's not like, all he did was he gave access for like a platform for people to trade crypto. So he completely removed himself from any type of regulation or anything because of I mean, that's how I look at it, just from a basic sense of mind who hasn't traded crypto, right? Just yet we get this pullback. I will be a buyer, and I will have my hand in the jar. But you know, that's why it was easy to get away with it for as long as he did. I just don't know why he thought he wasn't going to get like he probably could have got away with like a little bit, but let's just say if he didn't give Tom Brady and all these other people money, but still gave money for like the advertisements, would he be? You know what I'm saying? Would he be in this much trouble? Cause he was just like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" I should have gotten his information and been best friends with him and got some of that cake. Like, yo, what up, Sam? What you need, bro? No, but it's fucked. That's messed up. Again, you're taking, you know what I mean? Innocent. This is why I also say, this is why I have not bought crypto just yet. Like, you have to understand, even in a brokerage account with like any other brokers, you have to read the disclaimer. They can do whatever they want with your money. Like, they can lock your money up for X amount of years. There's obviously laws. They're not going to do that, but you just like these people were so dumb to not, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and don't have faith in some other loser like like to go to FTX, right? It's all hindsight because who's to say that it wouldn't have been Binance, right? CZ or Crypto.com or whatever, right? So it's all hindsight, but you got to remember, like, you got to know where your money's going. It's just, yeah, right. Yeah, because it's not like he has to like report any filings or do anything like once a month or quarterly. He doesn't have to really. I mean, as far as I know, maybe he has to like give some papers that they could make up to the SEC. Maybe, but because they're not registered here and they're just a platform for people to use, I don't know. I don't know that much about crypto. I wish I knew more, but that's something I'll have to educate myself on in the future. But I feel like you say though, for the amount of money that was being spent, because all these A-list celebrities like Tom Brady and Gary Gensler, like all these people that have money, they all know each other. Like not like you say, like not one of them was like, "Yo, how the fuck does he have the money to sponsor the NBA?" Like sponsoring every baseball game, every basketball game, football game, new stadium, giving us money. What's going on here? But that quick. It was like in a matter of 6, 8 months. You seen commercials. It was everywhere. It wasn't like this was like around for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. You know. So and I guess yes, exact. Literally, man. Yup, you're exactly right, man. And that's exactly what he was doing. It was just going to him, and then from him to whoever he wanted to give it to. If you asked him for money, and you know what I mean. If you played the fiddle, you could get whatever the hell you wanted, which is crazy. To be so disrespectful. And the thing is he's not stupid. He knew what he was doing. It's not like you can even somebody with like that is stupid. They're going to say like, yeah, I could probably take a little bit because you could charge a fee. Like, you have your fees, maybe you raise the fees or something, or add on an additional fee that just out of thin air. Yeah, we have a wiring fee, or like I don't know, like a lunchtime fee. Like you guys are paying for my lunch because I'm doing this. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like cell phone companies, they just come up with random. They just pull shit out of the air to charge for it. But nope, this was money was going in and literally not. It was just going right out, going in and right out the door. All of it, all of it. My boy did not give a shit. My boy did not give a shit. I don't know why he thought he would get away with it, or like how you like. Listen, picture yourself. Could you sleep at night? Could you sleep at night knowing you got billions of dollars running in and out of this place, and you're just giving it to everybody? Did he think the way that he would get away with it is to start with the politicians, feeding them money, talking shit on Trump? Maybe that was how he was trying to get out of it, right? Maybe he had already messed up and was like, how can I get out of this? Do I become friends with the people that could potentially throw me away? That's also another, because yeah, exactly, bro. I would honestly like Coinbase. I trust Coinbase, but the problem is like with that other one. The other issue, it may not even be the brokerage, right, or whatever you want to call it. What happens if like a court appeal or something happens and you get money that's locked up in Bitcoin or Ethereum because Biden and his friends want to like ban it or something, and like Coinbase literally locks you out of your money, right? What if you get locked out of your money? You're exactly right, Chris. And you're talking about like Bitcoin at 50,000, 30,000, 29,000. This is not like chump change here. And I know you can buy fractions, right? I know this. Like you don't have to just have like 29, at least from what I know, is like you shouldn't have to have $29,000. Like you don't have to just buy one. I think that's what a lot of other people that are new, They looked at Bitcoin and they're like, I don't have 20 grand or 10, 15, 20 grand to buy it. Like, no, you got $20, you can go buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. But um but what if, like you say, man, what if you get locked out of your money? What if something happens and you get locked out of your money? You're exactly right. But here's the thing with the equity markets, we have access to all of it. We can play Forex, we can play crypto, you can play uh, pharmaceuticals, you can play oil, you can play the dollar. Well, I already said Forex. You can play companies, right? So you have all that access here in the equity markets. Honestly, you can trade bonds. You can trade the 10 year, right? You could have traded a 10 year today. TNX. TNX is the ticker for the 10 year. You can buy options. You can buy it outright. You can short it. Whatever you want to do. So, there really hasn't been a reason to 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 really get into crypto for trading. I mean, the only reason would be is if you're into like all those other like names from like, I don't know, I like Dogecoin and Ethereum. Not really Ethereum, but you know what I mean. Like all those weird ass names that are out there, and you want access to trade those type of made up names. Um, but you have access, right? BITO, Mara, Riot, right? Coinbase. So makes life, it makes you kind of like not like feel like you're in a rush to get into crypto when you have access to it in the equity markets. At least for me. So I'll wait for the pullback. I'm gonna go use the restroom and I'll be right back. There's another small cap that was halted. Is Carvana going again? I told people it would take time for Carvana to get going. Yeah, I thought there was a comment. I thought you had a comment, and I don't know what happened to it. There it is. So, if I did buy some sort of crypto, I'm going to for sure buy a ledger and take it off the brokerage. Oh, that's cool. What is that, bro? I'll have to look into that. So, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it, and it's like you put it in a wallet or something, or you can like transfer it from brokerage to brokerage, or. I mean, that's the whole goal. They're trying to be able to get. They're trying to get the SEC to be able to stop being dickbags because they're scared that Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to take over the U.S. dollar, right? That's their number one concern is the U.S. dollar, right? But the goal is to be able to have crypto on an exchange so people can actually do it safely, right? And not have and not have to worry about Sam Bankman-Fried, right, throwing their money down in the toilet. And real quick, I gotta make this point, guys. I gotta make this point. This is the one thing I hate about the United States of America. This is one thing that I absolutely fucking hate about politics and these people that are sending Trump to jail. It's not about Trump right now. The same people that are sending Trump to jail, right? The same people that say they're for the people, the guy in New York, right? So you have the Bahamas going after Sam, right? So there's the Bahamas. So you got lawyers, court fees, judges, all this, right? Then what do you have? You have the SEC. That's federal, right? So you got them. Then now there's a second round of lawyers and judges and this and that. New York comes out and says, yeah, we're going to press charges. It doesn't. So you're going to tell me you motherfuckers care about the innocent people, but yet you all are putting out charges knowing that all that's going to do is eat up any type of assets and cash that he has to give back to the people, because you want to have four Delaware, add Delaware in it, because you want to have 4 or 5 different cases through each state, so all of you guys get your hands on the money, but yet you're for the little guy, or you're doing this to make things right, or whatever. No, one case. That way, lawyer fees, court fees, judges, all that money can be saved to give back to the people who got robbed. Am I wrong about that? I think it was really ignorant for the guy in New York to come out a week later and come out and say, yeah, we're going to file charges also. Because they want to get their hands on that money. It's sick. It's fucking sick. It really is. And it needs to change. You guys want it to fucking change? Put me in office. Because I'm going to tell you right now, stuff like that's only going to be handled in one court case. The Bahamas, I don't know what they have to do with the United States or whatever. Whatever, that's fine. But we're going to handle it in one case. Sorry, New York, we're the feds. I'm the president. I'm telling you, you ain't having it, because all that's going to do is eat up money. If you want to do it, you're going to come here or whatever and do whatever you want in this junction, right? I'm not going to sit here and talk like I know about law and stuff, but I think it's real sick that you got 4 different states going after it, and there ain't going to be nothing left, right? Because these lawyers are getting about 10, 20 grand an hour. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Right. Yeah, that and like I say, yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna look into that later on tonight. But man, when I seen the guy from New York and all these other things, when I started seeing all these other queries, I'm like, yo, they're talking so much shit right now because there's not gonna be no money left for people that just got robbed, because the state's gonna take it. The state's gonna take it. Like, as the person from New York, you should come out and say, we're not going to file charges because I know that the case is going to be handled on a federal level. And if I were to do that, all I'm doing is taking the innocent people's money and taking more, so people are going to get less back. So we're going to decide not to do that and just let it carry out in the federal courts, and, you know, try and save people money so they think that they can get their money back. Because all you did was have all these fucking state representatives and prosecutors. All they did was go and do this to be able to get their money in. That's like a lot of money that's sitting there. How do you find your way to it? Maybe I should have went to the courts, right? Maybe I should have filed something. I didn't have any money in there. I probably would have tried. I could have probably physically sued him myself. I wonder if you can do that, right? You probably could. I wonder if, like, civilian people that have done this can sue him. I don't know if there's a clause in the disclaimer, though, that says that once you hand that money over to Sam, he could pretty much do whatever he wants with it. And he could cover himself, right? Because there's no legislation. It's not registered here, right? It's registered in the Bahamas or wherever. You could have a disclaimer that says, guys, I'm just letting you all know in a disclaimer, but you're agreeing to the fact that if you send this money over to me, I can do whatever I want with it. I don't have to go buy this stuff that you think you own. And I can go have a nice steak dinner, in other words. Right? And you're okay with that. Yep, okay. So you got to read disclaimers. But I don't mean to get off on a rant, but again, man, when I seen the guy from New York come out, I'm like, oh wow, so here we go. We got 4 more. We got 4 different places trying to get their hands on this money, and nobody's going to get their money back. Sam done spend it all. The state's going to spend the rest of whatever's left. So it's going to go to a fine bar, cigars, and a really nice steak. So if you own a steakhouse, thank Sam, because oh, look at that, guys. We got a breakout. Now let's see if we hold this on the SPY. Wow, look at that. You can see how we pulled back. Look at that. It pinned it. I know I should make it bigger, but right here, look. Rejection breaks up above. Support. Support tries to break down, doesn't. And look, once you broke back out of that pennant, you got that big candle. So that tells me also at that 50-day, this is drawn on someone else's charts, this pennant. Because it pulls back down. This is the breakout hold. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see if it holds this downtrend. I'll just keep it there for a second. So I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. It looks like things are heating up. So I'm going to go cut this screen back down to 2. And then go use the restroom. And I'll be right back. It looks like... So it's 11:30 right now. Watch the SPY. Because it may start to get a little dicey here. This is true what this guy said here.
For half to spend on healthcare, which is way up, with robust. Those are spending on inflated price. You've got to take inflation out of it when you look at it and look at it year over year. Don't worry about these sort of silly, oh, this month is up 0.2% versus last month. That's not what really matters in the long term. What matters is how is this year doing compared to last year? And that's what Deloitte's talking about with their 3%, by the way.
Interesting. We'll talk again, Jerry, about how the retailers react to all this and what planning looks like as we get closer to the season. I appreciate
Look
it.
at Amazon.
My pleasure.
Wow, if it holds this level, guys, it's going so much higher. What a move. When was the last time you seen a $4 move on Amazon? That's crazy.
Plus, from Morgan
It's a
Stanley
good
to
thing
JP
we took
Morgan to
profits,
Barclays,
right?
Wall Street firms have been
It's
cutting
a
their
good thing we
outlook for
took
China
profits.
last
Holy
few weeks.
cow.
Are we at peak pessimism for that country?
I
We'll hear
can't
a debate
believe
about
that.
straight ahead.
That's so insane. That's so crazy. Amazon is ripping right now. Unreal. Unbelievable. I didn't see that coming. I'm going to be honest. I did not see that coming at all. I'll be right back.
lower this morning after reacting to today's hotter than expected U.S. CPI number and UK GDP falling by 0.5% in July versus a 0.2% forecast. Retail, the biggest loser over there, the Stock 600 retail ETF off earlier lows. Some stores parent Intedex among those leading the way down. The consumer worries leading Credit Suisse to downgrade their outlook for Europe, saying a recession is looking more likely and to not be fooled by cheap valuations there. Those earnings relative to the U.S. are at historic lows. The setup outperform the U.S. 25% of the time when that happens. All eyes, of course, will be on the ECB. Rate decision, that is tomorrow morning. It kind of looked like a toss-up into this week, but I think the prevailing they will hike. Maybe this is it because their economy has faster and deeper so far than the U.S. and some of the latest.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Germany, their forecast maybe shrinking up to 0.3 for the full year.
Yeah, now the European Commission put on that forecast, and that's a problem.
The China effect taking place.
They still have
sure.
inflation, so it's tough.
Yeah. Let's get a news update today with our Savannah Hanau. Hi, Savannah.
Hey, Carl, good morning. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un held hours of talks at a Russian spaceport Wednesday. After the talks ended, Putin said the pair talked about the possibility of military cooperation. The Kremlin says Kim is on his way back to his isolated country on his private armored train. The iPhone 12 is off the market in France. A watchdog agency in the country ordered Apple to stop selling the model, claiming testing showed it emits. Apple disputed the findings and said the device complies with regulations, and he may no longer be just
All right, so SPPL is
Barbie's
a
boyfriend,
new
recently popularized by Ryan Gosling in the Barbie movie,
which
is
is
a
halted.
finalist for induction
SPPL,
into the National
which is a new
Toy Hall
IPO
of
today,
Fame.
guys.
He has some steep
Let's keep our
competition,
eyes
though.
on this.
The games
And
Battleship
DocuSign
Connect
also
4,
just
as
put in
well
a
as
double
the
bottom.
Bobbit and Little Tikes Cozy Coupe are
it put in a
also
double
on
bottom.
the list. Winners will be selected
So this
in
thing did
November,
halt a couple
Sarah.
times, I thought.
Who knew
SPPL.
that was a thing?
They said it
Right?
did.
Hall of
Well, look
Fame.
at DocuSign,
Yeah,
guys.
that's major. Thank you, Silvana. ARM's IPO, big focus this week, and while one Wall Street firm already says buy, some statistics signal caution for investors
Docu's got a
looking to
really
buy
nice
in
double
on the
bottom.
debut day. We're gonna have
I
all
don't
the
know if
details
anybody's
and the
seen
data
this.
for
Look
you
at that
when we
double
come right
bottom,
back.
guys. That's a really nice double bottom on. But here's the thing I don't like about this. The RSI is actually lower when the stock went higher. So it's not that strong. See, I don't believe in it. I do not believe in that. But it's a nice setup that's going to catch a lot of people off guard if they don't know how to actually look at it. Let me wash my hands real quick. So there's the SPY breaking above the 50-day. What am I on? A 1 minute? Okay. So there you go. See the pullback into that trend line, guys? This was drawn on someone else, on everyone else's desk. So let's see, though. This could just still be a wick on the daily. Because if you pull up a daily, this could just be a wick. That would be a lower high on the RSI. Look at Citigroup. Citigroup had a nice pop. It's up almost 3% today. And it got sold a while ago. So banks have been doing really well, guys. Look at the rotation. Look at the rotation in the bank. And today's Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. So what can we do? Oh, no. Did I? No, I didn't. So look at this chart. No, don't. You want to see if this goes higher or lower. This is the Fed's. This is the backstop. This is that program that they did for the banks. So you want to keep an eye on this. This is where you're going to see if if the banks need more money. If the banks need more money, they're not good. Things aren't okay. So you're going to want to keep an eye on this chart here. This chart's important. Watch the 10-year. Also, keep your eye on yields and everything. This is why I don't like. Man, if we can pull back. The reason I like treasuries is because, there's more of a, instead of corporate bonds, it's because there's more of like a dictation on where rates are, pinning them. So, we'll see what happens here. We start breaking out to new highs. I'm going to sell TLT and wait to get in that. So we could have that type of move depending on what Fed does. Right? What does Powell do next week? The Fed meeting is next week. I'm pretty sure. Look at the banks, man. That's insane. So we called it, we found it yesterday pretty early. JP Morgan made its move. I can't believe I missed that, guys. So we need banks to continue to get this market higher. If banks are going to go, where is healthcare? Right? Can healthcare catch a bid? I wonder if it's going to hold that as support.
Fabletics.com.
Let's get a market flash on Citigroup, which is higher
I don't know why it's doing this.
today on the back of a pretty big reorganization announcement. Leslie Picker with
So I'm
some
going to go
details.
wash my
Leslie.
hands real quick.
Yeah, Sarah, investors seem to be encouraged by what they see here. But CEO Jane Fraser making a surprise appearance at a financials conference today, speaking alongside CFO Mark Mason. Fraser commented on the reorganization that Citi made this morning, calling it the, quote, most consequential change to how the firm will be organized and run.
If you guys could hit that like button for me if you guys haven't already done so. It just helps out the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed.
Banking, wealth, and personal banking.
What I'm looking for is the SPY to see if what it's really going to do.
All markets outside
This could
the US
just,
to one direct report.
is this
Now,
a wick
with
or are
this
we going to break
streamlining,
and
there will be
retest and
job
hold the
cuts, I'm
50-day
told,
moving
although
average?
Citi has yet to quantify those.
So we're well above it. We're well above that 50-day.
Hard, consequential.
So
tough
what we would look for
decisions
is
here.
a possible
They are
small
not
move
going to be
to
universally
440,
popular within our bank.
850,
It's
right?
going
We
to
have a
make some
gap
of our
ahead
people very
above us.
uncomfortable.
There's a
I
gap
am
up here.
absolutely fine with that. I am confident that our strongest performers are going to be fully supportive of these moves, and it is
There's
absolutely
actually a
the right thing to do for
448.75
our
to
shareholders.
449.
So this is the right time to make this next step, and we are fully leaning into it.
Fraser said that by fourth quarter earnings, the firm will be reporting along those 5 segments for investors, and they'll be able to share the exact cost savings that will come from the reorg, guys.
Hasn't been as much of a problem for Citi year to date, but if you look longer term at, say, the 5-year chart against the bigger rivals like a JPM or Bank of America, it really has underperformed. Why is that?
Yeah, part of that is just the overall transformation. They've been divesting a
Citi
lot of their
got
international
hammered
businesses
a couple weeks ago.
in order to kind of shore up and make sure that they're really focused on some of their key competencies. So part of that transformation, you've got this restructuring. They're really just kind of trying to get their, their house in order to really focus and drive better
see if the
returns
SPY
for shareholders.
bounces
So we'll
here.
see if this transformation, which Fraser calls the biggest
I'm
in
really
2 decades,
curious if it does.
the
We're
trick.
starting to get into
Investors
lunchtime.
certainly like the idea of it,
So-
up more than 2% today, but without real numbers, understanding the cost savings that are derived from this, as well as some key personnel that will be in important
So
seats
where
here.
can Citi go?
It's
It
really
looks
tough
like it's
to say at this
struggling
point
up
in time.
here.
All right, Leslie, thank you. Leslie Picker. The SoftBank-backed chip designer ARM set to price shares after the close. It's expected to be a blockbuster IPO. It's been a few years since we've had one of those. So our Deirdre Bosa is here taking a look at some warnings for the retail investor looking to jump in. Deirdre, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so Sarah, blockbuster IPOs, these are names that are already widely known companies or widely known brands, but people haven't been able to own a piece of them until that IPO day. So Instacart, it was launched more than a decade ago, and it brought grocery shopping online. It's now a household name. ARM is in 99% of all smartphones, so it is not surprising that the ordinary investor might be eager to buy in the first chance that they get on IPO day. But if history is any guide, retail investors should beware the blockbuster IPO.
Not
Take
today,
a look.
Obviously,
what you're looking at right now, 7 of the biggest listings
what a
of the
trade
last
that would
4
have
years.
been.
Every single one of them
It doesn't
are lower
seem like
than that
much,
first
but on a
day
$40
peak known
stock,
as the IPO pop.
nice
and only
trade.
2 of them, Airbnb and Snowflake, are up on their IPO price, which bankers set before they start trading. Now, there's a few reasons for this. One, tech startups, they are staying private for longer. Over the last decade, as interest rates approached zero, venture capital and private equity, they were essentially throwing money at startups at higher valuations, and in many cases, that pushed out profitability. By the time that they finally hit public markets, their best growth days may have already been behind them, and retail investors were simply getting the scraps.
To put in a range here.
Some of these companies, some of the biggest blockbuster IPOs may have IPO'd at peak hype. Rivian was not only wrapped up in the excitement over electric vehicles, but it had 2 established companies, Ford and Amazon, buying in and drumming up even more excitement among retail investors. Now, those 2 scenarios, they did play out against a very different economic backdrop, but they may have lessons for the pair of blockbuster IPOs that we are waiting on. ARM is hoping to cash in on the latest hype cycle, generative AI. It's also lined up some of the biggest names in tech, NVIDIA, Intel, Apple among them, as potential cornerstone investors. Now, it has targeted a $52 billion valuation, and that gives it a very large premium to chip makers, other chip makers in similar positions, even as its own revenue growth is slowing. Instacart, though, guys, this could be more interesting. It is already profitable, and it is going public at just a quarter of its peak valuation, which implies that it is. The company and its bankers are taking into account that slower growth and public valuation compression, and we haven't seen one of these in a very, very long time. You think about the other gig economy companies, and they went public at or near those peak valuations in the private market.
Yeah, on Cart, Dee, I think the big concern is flat orders in the first half, right?
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is its valuation kind of accounts for that. This is no longer a $39 billion company that's going, public at that high valuation. It's less than $10 billion. Its EV multiple is less than that of DoorDash and Uber. So it kind of tells you that maybe valuations have become a little more reasonable in this case. ARM, though, a very different scenario. I mean, SoftBank and Masa saying they're trying to get as much as possible, which absolutely makes sense, but it really has to sell that AI story, and those cornerstone investors could help.
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot more about that in the next 48 hours. Dee, thanks. Our next guest is hopping on the ARM train early, initiating the stock at a buy with a 59 target, as well as above the top end of its expected 47 to 51 range. Joining us with his call is New Street Research's Pierre Ferragu. Pierre, are we of the mind on data theory?
Yes, so what it's indeed an, but it's very remote from what's happening in the data center today, where you see like the deployments of these very large AI clusters that are mostly based on ASICs and GPUs. ARM has very, very little presence there, almost zero. ARM is really the play about AI getting everywhere. And so what's happening today is that ARM, working for several years at their next generation of products, their next architecture, basically brings the building blocks inside a smartphone, inside an IoT device, etc., is a major pricing power event for ARM, because this new value to their clients, and so they can increase how much they charge a lot to their clients. So what you're going to see over the next 5 years is ARM delivering very, very good growth, even out of markets like the smartphone market, where underlying growth doesn't really exist. Smartphone is X growth, but ARM is going to grow very nicely, because as AI gets into the smartphones, ARM is one of the main beneficiaries, if not the main beneficiary.
Dee mentioned the cornerstone investors, and we'll be watching NVIDIA and Samsung and Intel and Alphabet. Does that should it give investors a bigger sense of comfort?
Yes, Gal, I think when you think about ARM, it's almost like a private industry standard. If you want to do a smartphone, you have to use ARM. If you don't, you're really going to suffer and you're never going to be successful. And so ARM is a very safe business from that perspective. It's a default option. Everybody is going to use ARM. So the big risk for ARM is really to see their clients growing less comfortable with this dependency and considering ARM, as something of which they would want to de-risk themselves and start creating an alternative. So that's really like the most important long-term risk you can think of about the business. And so seeing these players like Apple, Qualcomm, Broadcom, and others taking a stake, even if it's like relatively small and symbolic stakes, into the equity of ARM is to me an extremely positive signal. The industry is telling you, we trust ARM. ARM is the standard. ARM is doing the right job to give us the platform, the ecosystem we need to move forward.
The other big risk investors talk about is China and the fact that it's China ARM. It doesn't control. It's heavily dependent on that for revenues. China is a big question mark right now geopolitically with the U.S. And then just the cyclical pressures, right, Pierre? It's not immune to end market weakness, especially in smartphones. We're not exactly at a high point in the smartphone cycle.
Exactly, and that's the reason why I like to characterize ARM today as dipping in on the wave, because we are at a low point in smartphones. Like the really, really bad environment in smartphone is today, and so what you can expect from here is actually a cyclical recovery that might be very slow, by the way, but it's going to be trending upward. On China, I think you make a very strong point. China is more than 20% of ARM's revenues. ARM doesn't have a direct access to China. They have to go through like a local subsidiary on which they don't have control. I don't think that part of the story is a problem. If you're using ARM in China today, if you are like a chip manufacturer, like a Huawei or anyone else, I can tell you that you rely on ARM. You cannot do business without ARM today. So you'll make sure ARM gets paid for what you do with ARM. Because at the end of the day, you need like a daily access to ARM, daily access to ARM's partners, like your EDA, like Synopsys or Cadence, or your manufacturer, like SMIC and TSMC. So there is no way ARM can get out, China can get out of ARM in the near term, even in the next few years. In the long run, of course, China wants to grow more independent from the West, and ARM is the West. And so there is a real question about, in the very long run, is the weight of China in ARM's business coming down or not? And my view is that it is going to come down. But we are talking, maybe China disappearing from ARM over 20 years. That's the kind of pace, in the worst case, you would be thinking of. So losing 20 points of your revenues over 20 years means you have like a 1 point headwind on your growth. So if you are like a healthy business, it's a headwind, but it's not a game changer. That for a business with that strength, there is no like ARM stopped using China, sorry, ARM on short notice. That's
Now your long-term thesis, which I know you've talked about in recent Silicon Wall going up, is interesting to think about, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in the coming. Thanks for being out front on it.
Thanks, Cal. Thanks, Al.
And on that note, CNBC will have full coverage of the ARM IPO all day tomorrow. Straight ahead, one area where inflation is not coming down, travel. We've got that story next. Back in two with stocks remaining higher here. Dow's up 50 points, S&P 500 also going strong. It's consumer discretionary today, though Tesla's a big part of the reason why it's higher. Utility, financials, communication services, and all As jet fuel prices are rising, we saw that in this morning's inflation report. So are airfares. The CPI report showing airfares jumped this month from last, although they're down from last year. Seema Modi has a deeper look at where we stand on travel inflation, Seema, which has been a big part of the recent worry and problem around services.
It certainly has, Sarah. The August inflation report showing a 5% increase in airfares month over month, but yes, a 13% drop from last year. Travel from Hopper anticipating airfares to drop around 30% this fall from the summer peak, with domestic airfare averaging $211 round trip, down from $298, and international rates are anticipated to fall. Round trip from the U.S. to Paris, London, and Tokyo showing right now down 25 to 40% in September and October, often called the shoulder season, as the industry ramps up capacity and also deals with a consumer that is becoming a bit more cost conscious. Now, the CPI report also revealing lodging rates declined in August, though up year over year by 3%, led by big cities like New York, Boston, and Chicago as conference season picks back up. Analysts say the broader volatility in pricing just suggests that travel executives are still trying to find that balance of accommodating strong demand amid a less certain macroeconomic backdrop. And while rising oil prices have become a big headache for the airlines, it's also a pain for big hotel operators that rely on drive-to customers. I would point out that the airlines are lagging the hotel stock so far this year, Carl.
Some of the airlines 5-month lows this morning on some of these warnings that we got today. Seema Modi talking about some lodging, though. Thanks, Seema. Still to come, have we reached peak pessimism in China? Consensus points to a slowdown long term, but what might investors expect short term? We'll discuss that after a short break.
My fault, guys. I had to grab something to eat. So my instinct was right on Amazon. Just making a trade out of that pullback. You know, the volume, like I say, volume's a big factor in some of the decision making that I do with support and resistance. And I don't want to overstay my welcome. Somebody that held on to this trade probably had to stop out on the short side. And that's why you did get the run up that you got. But what a move. I mean, I don't trade Amazon that much, but opening price at 141, the low 141s up to 144, over 144, and here you go. Trying again. That's a pretty big move in Amazon. I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to, I might stop the stream. That's up to you guys, unless you guys are watching the CNBC that's up here. Unless you guys are watching this. And I'm going to start another stream. For the markets, I'll be back at like 3 o'clock. Or I'll be back at like 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to set up. I want to go cover a couple of games for this weekend. I'm going to go live. I'll put that out, a couple of games for football and stuff, and then we'll switch over to 2 o'clock and do the market close going into tomorrow, guys. So thank you guys for joining us. Give me 10 minutes to make the thumbnail, brush my teeth, and we're going to make that video. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. If you could, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Thank you guys for joining.